Wake up, grab your cereal bowl, pour some milk, let the cartoons roll. Every week it's a brand new show on Resolute Germs channel. Let's go! From zany laughs to heroic feats, villains, toasters, and robot beats. It's the weekend vibe, you know the deal. Cartoon dreams that feel so real. It's Saturday morning, the fun begins on Resolute Germs, where nostalgia wins. Every week it's a different surprise, adventure and laughter before your eyes. Old school classics and fresh new finds, characters that'll blow your mind. Heroes, monsters, the goofy, the bold, timeless stories never grow old. Super spy spaceships in flight, wacky antics till the noonday light. No repeats, it's always brand new. Saturdays for cartoons, and we're here with you. It's Saturday morning, the fun begins on Resolute Germs, where nostalgia wins. Every week it's a different surprise, adventure and laughter before your eyes. Gather of friends or chill solo, the chat's alive with that cartoon glow. Every frame's a portal in time, let's relive the magic with the rhythm and rhyme. So tune in, don't hit snooze. Resolute Germs got the shows to choose. Saturday mornings, the cartoons call. Join the party, we're having a ball. Hey, Resolute Germs, Saturday morning cartoons. Where every week, the fun's brand new. You said, mention some cartoons in the song. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT, Saturday
Testing, testing. Hope you can hear us now, words and pictures. Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently there's a new problem with StreamYard.
Oh, great. Another.
Oh, 5x5 now. Hey, I wonder how long there was no audio.
It's been a while.
Yeah. We got Teague.
Not long enough. Hi. Hello. Let me put on my face. Hold on. There we go. Hi. It's out of uniform there.
Yeah, apparently we didn't have audio for quite a while.
Yep.
You had audio from the point 2 minutes ago when I started jumping into the room, but if you had an unnaturally long pause, like I couldn't tell. It seems to be it might have been closer to like part of a minute or a minute scooped out in the middle there.
Okay.
Good morning, sirs.
How you doing?
I'm sort of dealing with the shock of last week's uploads doing pretty well.
Cool.
The stream did as well as usual, but I made an upload of part of it, and I still have yet to put out the other one. It's like one upload a week's about all the market can handle from that one, but the Zindi mission briefing is up to like just about 600 views.
No, nice.
It dropped on Wednesday, so yeah, I'm pleased. Thanks to everyone who watched it. I'm having the same pretarded problem I always have with this stupid shit. Here we go. All right. Finally. You got a really good copy.
Yeah, this is copied from a DVD.
Unfortunately, the source is pretty dumb.
Yeah. And now the dinosaur's doing the moonwalk.
When I see this cartoon, I have to look at myself in the mirror, guys, and I say to myself, sir, you did far too much cocaine in the early 2000s, sir, that you would see this cartoon every morning at 4 a.m. coming home.
This actually, as far as Spider-Man goes, this is probably the best they ever did. Personally, I was never much of a Spider-Man fan.
I love Spider-Man. I think the 90s Spider-Man cartoon was the best one they did. This one is like a distant third behind 62. Or was it 64 Spider-Man?
That was an animated Spider-Man in '64.
That
would have been
Spider-Man. That's the like number 2 as far as animated Spider-Man go. It's number 1 sentimentally to me. Marissa Tomei is from like Western Long Island or like I'm sorry, Western Long Island or like Eastern Queens. And when she became Aunt May, it was really weird because she was someone I would sort of see around. And I think I was the only person, having had interacted with her a little bit, where when she died in Spider-Man No Way Home, I was like, well, at least they killed the villain.
Yeah, she was not a good Aunt May.
I don't blame her for the terrible casting, and I will give it up. She is an okay actress. It was just, it's like, there's something about Marissa Tomei I've never liked.
The real highlight of the series is Firestar.
Huh.
I guess their original idea was to have it be Mary Jane, but
She's a close lookalike.
Yeah, someone decided it wasn't a good idea to turn Spider-Man's girlfriend into a mutant.
I think what happens was, this is just my opinion. You ready? Spider-Man is going to make us some money. We haven't made much money on Spider-Man in a while. Certainly he's bigger than the money we're making. These people want to make a cartoon. Let them do what they want. They got it wrong. Who cares? It's not canonical. Who cares? That's how I think this one kind of worked.
That's more for the Spider-Man series. This one was the NBC series. The 81 Spider-Man is syndicated, so that's the one they didn't really care about.
The one I'm watching right now is deeply weird and misguided. Like, as far as the art.
That's pretty common for the time period.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's just, it's not as good as the 62 or 4 cartoon, whatever it might be. And it's not as good as the 90s cartoon, which was really good. I can feel the first time I saw this dripping down the back of my throat. It's the only way to put it. Hello, words and pictures. Hello, Arabic. See, to all appearances, it's Flash and MJ, but it's not. They've been changed.
I think you mean Spider-Man 67.
That sounds right, because 62 starts the run of the comic book, right?
Yeah.
The first cartoon with the classic theme song that was pretty campy, but all out amazing. That one is great.
Yeah.
It beats the shit out of the other Marvel cartoons, like the Iron Man, Hulk, and Fantastic Four ones.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a little bit easier to do at that time.
Well, if there's one thing we found out with these characters, the important thing is location, location, location. So they put them in Queens.
But Firestar is definitely amazing.
I think there've been a couple of changes to Iceman. I don't think Flash is Iceman. I'm not sure if this is Flash.
No, it's not. It's Bobby Drake.
It's made up a new character.
I don't know. Bobby Drake's an original X-Men.
Okay, I just don't remember these guys. We went through a few iterations of X-Men before we found ones that people liked.
Yeah.
We're sort of like the
Firestar.
X-Men movies.
Yeah. Firestar is an original character for the show.
I'm just glad that we're seeing, repeat superhero performances where you become a superhero identified actor. Hey, Daniel, good to see you.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey,
The
Daniel.
guy who's the guy playing Mr. Fantastic in the Superman movie he was in X-Men First Class. So, well, I'm sorry, Days of Future Past, whichever one people hated more. See, I think that right now, unfortunately, Daniel, the people who own Spider-Man are too stupid and allergic to making money to take Daniel's advice, that they would just make a pretty good, relatively lore-accurate Spider-Man cartoon. Your best hope is that we get Tom Holland's origin with, like, disembodied Aunt May as the spirit. I'm guessing. Like, they will screw Spider-Man up so badly if they do it with the Tom Holland origin story. He would have, like, a Jor-El-like AI of, like, Tony Stark, right? Because that's what he has. He has those glasses. They've got an AI of Tony in them.
Yeah.
Plus he's got
Technically,
Aunt
the
May.
follow-up.
Go ahead,
Technically,
sorry.
the follow-up to the '94 series is Spider-Man Unlimited.
Okay.
So, in that line, she is
Ugh.
found, and everything's back to normal.
Who is found? Help me.
Mary Jane,
Mary Jane. Okay.
because the last season or two, she got lost in interdimensional space.
Does that start with them having the Venom story come across into the animated cartoon of the 90s? Because the
No, I
Venom
believe
story
it was-
opens up that door a little bit.
I believe it was the Spot that actually lost her in interdimensional space.
Here's the deal with that one. They debuted what stays the story for Venom there. That's like attempt number 3 to justify why there's a Venom. Attempt number 1, they just walk away from really fast with it's from Secret Invasion. That didn't work at all. Secret Wars, they did just walk away from that.
Yeah, I think they fine-tuned it in the '90s.
Spider-Man's black costume was new Coke. Everybody was sickened. That was one weird power.
Yeah, Doctor Doom can literally do anything. His armor is technically more advanced than Iron Man's.
He's technically smarter and richer too, right?
Smarter, richer,
Meaner.
basically better than Tony Stark in every way.
That was one poorly rendered hot dog, fellas. There it goes. Looks more real now.
Remember Spider-Man Unlimited came out same time Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon definitely overshadowed it.
What kind of Mixelplixix loser is this, Mysterio?
No, he just got the power that Doom was trying to get.
Did you notice in the last episode, by the way, one of the sound effects was just photon torpedoes? It was exactly photon torpedoes.
Oh yeah, that's a very common sound effect.
I can just imagine that conversation. Guys, for $7.50 of 1970s money, we can license the Star Trek soundboard. Well done, just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, funny enough, NBC owns that soundboard.
And CBS owns like most of the laugh tracks because people use Lucy. Aside from her syndication making her rich, she was the first person to like stereo up her office. Her audience.
Yeah, you should have an Eastern European accent. Unfortunately, none of them could do a good Eastern European accent, and all Eastern Europeans were kind of behind the Iron Curtain at the time.
Yeah.
This still syncs up with the first set of movies where Doctor Doom was just an American New Yorker descended from, which still made sense and put him in their world. It's weird we're about to call those. Remember the good Fantastic Four movies, the ones that were okay?
Good is probably a strong word.
I think Pedro Pascal's about to do wonders for its reputation. You want to put 5 on it?
Well, yeah, by comparison, it's going to be freaking fantastic. But still, just because something's vomit doesn't make the turd any better.
I feel those movies were good-hearted. Much more good-hearted than this movie looks so far.
Well, I'll give you that much.
Johnny Storm was superior to this Johnny Storm already. I know this already. And that Johnny Storm was not a pleasure to watch.
Well, in no way, shape, or form. At least he could emote. Every time Johnny's featured in any of the trailers so far,
oh, he
blank. Looks like he's desperately trying to fool a cop into thinking he's sober.
He checks some sort of aesthetical boxes that the Marvel people like. He's physically a little bit bigger than Pedro, big deal, but I mean, he's physically a little bit big, but his face is so blank and inexpressive, and he has absolutely no distinctive traits, like the way he dresses, his haircut, his express. That guy is just like along for the ride. I heard that there was trouble casting the male roles in that movie, and when I see the male actors they've got, I feel like that's true. Pedro, just like, he's there to be cocked. In our 7 minutes of Reed Richards, we got four quotes, right? It was, I don't know, I can't do it, I'm not sure, maybe we can. Those are his 4 quotes, and the last one comes after his wife tells him she'll help him out, and he's like, maybe we can. The Marvel, I don't know what to call him, resident president, freaking Feige? Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, I guess so.
The guy's name's fucking radioactive. The head of Marvel is out there saying to disregard the trailer that they might have gotten the end of credit scene wrong. The end of credits of Thunderbolts is about to become non-canonical. I love that they're fucking up so bad now that they need a redo on the last movie.
They probably just need to reset the entire MCU.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The coming of the Great White Handkerchief is certainly in store, right?
Wow, Dr. Doom was beat by a handful of silver dollars.
What the fuck? Look at the TV.
and he's just listening to Doctor Doom.
Forgive me, but I think that perhaps Doom is the most level-headed person in this story.
Well, he is the rightful ruler of the world.
Look, we might not agree with him, but so far he's made logical, linear choices unlike everyone else. I have an evil plan. I am unapologetically bad. How can I advance my evil? This is a great cartoon for Pride Month, Germ.
Well, yeah, mainly because of Iceman.
And that one joke from Seth MacFarlane that was devastatingly funny, is that what you're talking about?
No, canonically now, Bobby Drake is completely gay.
Is that more than 10 years?
Just about 10 years.
We lost Cap.
Nope.
More
Hopefully, you
than
can
10
figure out whatever went wrong.
Just about 10 years ago, one way or the other, we're on the bubble on this one. There's a joke in an episode of Family Guy. You know how they just radically cut away with a hard cut in the middle of the show? It'll be like, geez, this is worse than the time that whatever, and then that will happen.
I really don't know anything about.
In the narrative of Family Guy, like, they'll just cut away hard and do it like a satirical send-up of whatever Peter's thinking about, because Peter only thinks about TV. So he's just like, geez, this is like that time on Spiderman and his amazing friends. And he's remembering the episode, and it's like Iceman's wife busting him for being what we call an undercover brother. She just follows the ice trail to a certain bar. A Blue Oyster kind of bar.
Yeah, it's 2015 that they first confirmed that Bobby Drake was gay.
I can't tell you for sure because it's within a year, one way or the other. And yeah, Daniel's right. Chris Evans' Johnny Storm is looking to be way better than the one that we're going to get. That guy was so blank and inexpressive. He was so blank.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look promising.
Wouldn't you wish for your hair back?
But when you got unlimited power, you don't need your hair back.
I would point out there's no monkey's paw. He could do whatever he wants. Just, I would have my hair back. And be younger. Daniel's raising a couple of good points. Why indeed? Weird, weird, weird.
Wow, he ain't that bright. Well, at least he kept his powers. Well, he still has his cat.
He got himself the hot dog first thing. Words. So he was thinking like you. Too many people worked on this for it to be so bad, huh?
This was actually very good for 1981.
They didn't go deep enough with a good story, though.
That's not what you did in the 80s.
True. It's like a donut hole. The 60s and 80s and 90s had better stories. The 70s and 80s, Super Friends is some of the dumbest shit ever made.
Yeah, but some of the most popular.
And that's where they sow their own seeds of doom, right? Their most popular product is really deeply low quality. Think about what you take away from that, right? Why would you ever put extra thought or money into it?
Something's wrong here with the audio.
Sorry, what?
Okay, go ahead and say something again. I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was wondering what was up with that. Thank you. The 70s and 80s seem to be a donut hole in good stories, and the problem with what you said about Super Friends is that think of what the takeaway was from the success of Super Friends. Doesn't matter. Why throw more money into it? Why think it through more? People will just watch it because it was marketed to the youngest of children with the most popular of characters. And a bunch of them.
Yeah, but for the time, the animation was very high quality because you got
But
it to television.
for the televisions of the time, it probably looked better than what we see now. But I would say that even as like a teenager, rewatching it in the 80s, the stuff from the 70s was already detectably pretty bad.
Oh
Battle
yeah,
of the
you had
Planets
much
was
better
far higher. Go ahead.
You had much
Sorry.
better resolution. This is in 720. This was never meant to be seen in anything higher than probably 480, if that.
If 480s rebroadcast well, that's about the limit of a human eye anyway. You know, it's very close at 420 broadcast right. Or 480, whatever it is. Ah, the old skyline. At least they didn't cancel that.
Oh, we got this guy again.
Is it Shang-Chi?
That
Or have
should be the Silver Samurai.
they've diluted everyone a little bit, so he's like the aluminum Ronin or something. They have a warp core.
It's too bad they should have went with Silver Samurai.
I don't know if we can say insulting, but some LOL voice classifications, right? Characterizations.
A little bit.
I guess he's faking the lack of dexterity and like eye-hand coordination.
A little bit. And those games are rigged.
I don't trust that kid. Weird, weird, weird.
Well, ain't that convenient.
Good question, words and pictures.
Yeah. Well, with Firestar there, you know about where he's tingling.
Too much Aunt May.
She is awfully horny for someone who's supposed to be dating Bobby.
She's baiting him.
Woman, that's why he said not to touch anything. Yeah. It's not the whole fact that you're being cucked in front of the entire town. Welcome back, Captain.
Thank you. Sorry I lost power.
Oh.
Welcome back.
I guess that's happening a lot down in that area. Curtis lost power today, too.
Huh. At least it didn't happen when I was online.
Yeah.
You know, they say like we used to like prep for a nuclear war and stuff like that. These days, I would say prep for the denial of service attack.
Yeah, that's right. Words and pictures. Everything's going his way. He's got Firestar and he doesn't even know it. Wow, she is an easy mark.
No kidding.
First she fell for Craven, now she's falling for this guy.
She has a thing for power. She's like Captain Janeway that way.
Yeah, sure. Ignite the fusion bomb.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
I can't imagine anything going wrong.
It took him long enough to realize his uncle was evil. Oh, I see they got a little bit more money.
Yep.
Took most of the episode, but the robots finally talk.
I like how Words puts it. Like, we got a remote control fire kaiju here. Along with other interesting bad guys.
Yeah, that's the major hook of the series. You get a new, interesting bad guy every weekend. Spider-Man and his amazing friends have a unique way to beat him.
It takes amazing friendship.
Yeah. It's going to be extraordinarily simple. You have two heat-based superheroes right there.
Yep.
Newsflash, he won't return.
I wonder what Shran from Enterprise would call that samurai. Don't think pink skin would work. What does Shran call Hoshi?
Probably something derogatory. Yeah, words and pictures, but unlike Godzilla, this monster's gone for good. All right. Last episode.
Cool.
See, right here looks like leftover Super Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's different people and different stuff, but it looks just like, say, the origin of Superman or something. The way they would have done it. I like how their true north in developing New York City is to always show the towers. That didn't come back to haunt them. You know what? This cartoon has helped me solve the mystery of Flight MH370. It was hit by a meteor, Germ.
Yeah.
You know what? It only explains everything. Welcome to Shanksville. Too soon?
Oh, great wasps.
Yeah.
Anyone else like, oh my god, they stole this for Star Trek Beyond?
Yeah, the swarm creature is never really a good choice.
It always sucks. Look, it's the Karl Marx swarm.
Yeah.
Yes, you will join the proletariat. Oh my god. She's hot. Ha ha. It seems to me that a cloud of fire is exactly what you need to take out a big, huge stack of insects, huh?
Yeah.
You think?
She's well matched. I love how this guy just willingly, like, whatever happened, like, that mojo happened to him and it just became a drone. He's like, I am a worker.
Yeah, hardy har har, words and pictures.
Is one of the things that's going on here is that, first of all, Flash is wearing saddle shoes from the 1950s. Way to go! But is one of the things going on here is that the superheroes don't know each other by their secret identities?
The three of them do, but not everyone else.
Got ya. This Peter Parker's a little too cool, by the way. And he's supposed to be in high school. He's like the principal, right?
I don't know. They're in college.
All right. Who cleans your costume but you?
No kidding.
Wow, so that was unnecessary. Now he's just home anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to go get the costume.
You're Spider-Man. You can flick that thing so hard that all the water would come out of it.
She can take
I
care of
love
that
it.
problem in 2 seconds. I don't know what. This doesn't make any sense.
They've read the Communist Manifesto, Germ. There's no stopping them now. They're very disloyal, sir. They look awesome, though.
They need a good re-education camp.
How could you not laugh? This is hysterical. And I mean that in a good way, too. Presumably, these are humans. Ugh. Germ, Cap. Remember the good old days where the commies were the bad guys in the cartoons on Marvel?
Yep.
And look at that real world Easter egg. They land in front of Marvel Comics. This story is awesome.
I don't know. It's starting to bug me.
Fucking idiot Firestars had the solution for the entire episode.
Yeah.
They had literally no reason to do that.
None.
Yeah, I thought so. Word in pictures. Can't let you make all the puns. Hey, Dan.
Hello. It is communism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, they're bee people. That's one of the best lines we've ever heard. Whoa! The Borg are powerful.
Whoops.
Uh-oh. I don't get it. Everyone there's a mutant.
I guess since Spider-Man's a bug too, he can't be infected by another bug.
He's a mutant of a completely different origin than the X-Men type mutants.
Yeah. Hey, Spider-Man steals a car.
Cool.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You pick up certain skills living in Queens, right?
Yeah.
As an expert carjacking.
That would be kind of fitting, words and pictures.
The person who drew this ever been inside a fucking car?
Yeah.
This
Don't
is
think that's
great.
gonna fool him.
This is great. You know, Germ, in the 1990s in my college dorm room, I took LSD and I think I feel it again now.
If the bees let hope they don't get caught in sticky solution. Uh, I don't think that's how he says, Stan.
Wait, that stupidity worked?
I guess so. When literally Firestar could just snap her fingers and
It's like it
instant
never
flamethrower.
happened. Yeah. Well, it makes more sense than Endgame, right? Still a better story than Last Jedi. The fraternity hoedown. They won't be able to reuse that term, sir. That was some weird stuff, Germ.
Yeah.
That was weird stuff, buddy.
And stinking mouse.
Well, thank you for helping me remember the halcyon days of the middle 90s when I was watching that cartoon at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's great at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, well, yeah, there was cocaine and nudity and all sorts of great stuff that would have been much more fantastic than what you would see on TV. Yeah, but it was on.
Yeah, but it's a good example of early 80s done right.
Oh yeah.
I found it enjoyable, especially the last one. The last one was freaking hysterical. This cartoon doesn't go far enough.
Should have
enough
last 5
places.
seconds.
Yeah, the last half really kicked into high gear. The cartoon doesn't go far enough in enough places. It needs to be more self-conscious that it's in fact ridiculous.
Oh, that's the nice thing. At the time, it wasn't ridiculous. Only 40 plus years later that we find it ridiculous because a lot of these tropes weren't established in 1981, at least for animation.
No, you're right. And like you said, it's an interesting time. Like, it's interesting to see stuff from that time, how different it is. And I mean, we're years and worlds and light years away from Camp Candy last week. That was,
Yeah.
Or Camp Candy, was Camp Candy last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Camp Candy was so bad that it feels like it was yesterday every morning when I wake up screaming as a victim in Camp Candy. It is kind of brilliant.
But what you got coming up, Teague?
Well, if everyone hasn't, please go check out my upload of the Xindi Plan and the Delphic Expanse from Star Trek Enterprise. And tonight at 10 minutes to 10 Eastern Time, join me on the Final Frontier where we'll be watching Star Trek Enterprise, the Xindi. I wonder what it'll be about.
It's a mystery. Captain, what you got coming up?
Oh, I don't have anything planned right now.
Okay. Looking forward to see come back in the morning sometime. Those are good streams.
Thank you.
And for this channel, we'll be back on Monday with Mothra versus Godzilla. And then Wednesday for our open panel and another great cartoon next Saturday morning. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Have a good day.